So guys, today, possibly the most delicious pasta that you may have never heard of. This is Bucatini Primavera. This is an amazing Italian-American classic. So not your traditional Italian pasta, but this one is delicious. Let's do it. And so, Bucatini Primavera. This is an Italian-American dish that basically uses a load of vegetables along with your pasta, garlic, sometimes chili. It is very variable. You can use loads of different things. I believe traditionally it is made with cream, like a cream sauce, but for me, I prefer to keep it a lot more simple, a lot more rustic, and the creamy silkiness comes from the olive oil and a little touch of butter as well, so no cream. First thing we're going to need to do is prep a whole load of vegetables, starting with a red bell pepper. Obviously, you can use any type of pepper you like. I'm going red because we've got green zucchini or courgette, we've got the green herbs, we're using some green onions, so this just mixes up the colour a little bit. There we go, so very simple. Chop the top off your pepper and then just cut around and remove the florets. You can cut out any little bit of the white pith. We don't need too much pepper. This is going to be a portion-wise 1 to 2 people. And whenever I make primavera, I like to cut the vegetables fairly fine. This is not a saucy kind of pasta, so I like to have nice small bits of veg running through it. We're not going to cook the veg for too long, so they're not going to get mushy or anything. So I like it to have almost a granular kind of texture. So pepper into slices, and we just want to cut it into these nice little cubes. We're going to cook the courgette the same size as well to keep everything nice and uniform. Last bit of pepper there. It's such a delicious dish, this one. Really vibrant, a little different to your typical pasta dishes. And there we go, that there is our pepper. Enough there for about 2 servings of this delicious pasta. So the pepper, the courgette, and the green onion is all going into the pan together at the same time, so we can pop those into the same bowl. So there we go, that's the pepper prepped and in our bowl, and into the same bowl we're going to go in with our courgette and green onion. So let's crack on. Next up, our spring onion, or green onion if you like, off with the end, and then from there dice up the kind of white root end of the spring onion a little bit finer. So chop your way through it, and when we get to the sort of green end about there, we can go a little thicker. So there we have it, roughly the same size as our pepper and roughly the same amount, as you can see. So onion into the bowl along with the pepper, and I'm actually starting to get really hungry now. This is so delicious, this pasta. So there we go, onion, pepper. Next, our courgette. And again, we want about the same amount of courgette as pepper and onion. So I'm gonna say about this much, roughly speaking. What you can do is cut it into these quarters, and then as you can see, we've got seeds running down there. So we can remove those. They can get a little mushy, so just really simply just kind of cut along there, being very careful. You can leave these in, but dependent on the dish, you may want to just get rid of those. Right, and so from there, obviously, we're cutting these to the same size as everything else, going into our primavera, or primavera. So we go into these nice little battens, slice your way down, and that there is that. Our courgette in these nice little pieces. So obviously this is also going into the bowl, and this little trio of vegetables, this is going into the pan first. Perfect. Pepper, green onion, that is good to go. Our spinach, no prep required. We're going to keep it whole. We just want a nice handful in a bowl, and that just goes straight in like that. Next up, we have some calaman olives, and to prep these, very simple. I basically just slice down them like that, tear them open, remove the stone, and from there into quarters. Again, this pasta dish is incredibly variable. It comes in loads of different forms, I guess, if you will, loads of different sort of combinations of vegetables. This is the way that I tend to make it most of the time, unless it's kind of one of those just late night jobbies where I chuck anything and everything into it. In my opinion, the non-negotiables are the garlic and vegetables. What vegetables you use is up to you, but I do think you want to use garlic and some good quality extra virgin olive oil, or you can make the kind of cream sauce version. For me, it doesn't work in the same way that the version that I'm making today works. Still very tasty, but I'm just not as much of a fan of the cream sauce vibe. I'm going to go with a few more olives. I really like the addition of olives in this one, so I tend to be fairly generous. This really is a dish where there is no real set in stone recipe in terms of quantities. Basically, all you want to do roughly speaking, is have equal parts of all of the veg, all of the ingredients. So equal parts pepper, olives, spinach, onion, courgettes, whatever you're using. Just keep it fairly even. Obviously garlic, not so much, but basically keeping everything even. And you just want enough veg to go with the pasta. I mean, that's basically it. A couple more olives and then that is ready to go, and the prep will almost be done, which couldn't come sooner because I am actually starving. One last olive for good measure. So there we have it. Our olives, stone removed, cut very roughly into quarters. We want to get the olive into a bowl. There we have it. Pop that aside, and just a couple more bits of prep to do. I like a little bit of spice in my Primavera, so I'm just going to go with one whole red chili, seeds and all. Off with the top. Cut your chili into slices, and there we have it. That is perfect. Use more, use less. It is entirely up to you. Chili into a bowl. Get all of those seeds in there. The seeds, along with the flesh of the chili, is where we get our heat. Chili done, and next up, our garlic. Possibly one of the most important elements of this dish, in my opinion. So with the garlic, you can be as generous as you want. For me today, I'm going to go with 3 or 4 really nice big cloves of garlic. So we just want to cut off the ends, give them a little crush, and get rid of those skins. So there we go. Fairly generous amount of garlic there. You can actually grate this garlic out to make like a garlicky paste, but for me, this pasta is all about texture in some regards. So I like to just go with a nice fine dice. But obviously, this is entirely up to you. Like I said, this recipe is incredibly variable. No real rules to it. Go with your heart and experiment a little bit. Make it a few different ways and see what floats your boat. So there we have it. Some really nice, finely diced garlic, which works beautifully with this amazing pasta. So there we have our delicious aromatic garlic. One last thing, the basil, we're going to basically tear in to finish off the pasta, but we do want to dice our parsley nice and fine. So bring it all together into almost a ball. Chop your way through it using a really sharp knife. We don't want to bruise our herbs. There we go. And then back through it once or twice more. So our finely diced parsley into a bowl, and I'm excited because we are pretty much ready to cook. Parsley done. Now let's head over to the hob and get cooking this delicious garlicky pasta. So we have everything there ready that we're going to need. We want the heat on a decent medium, and we want a nice high-walled frying pan. And the first thing that we're going to want is some extra virgin olive oil, and be generous with your olive oil. There we go. We can top this up if we need, but that will give us a good starting point. And this pasta dish cooks fairly quickly. We're not looking to get a huge amount of colour on the vegetables. We want to retain some freshness. We do just want to remove a little bit of water and intensify the flavours. So it's kind of a flash fry kind of jobby. Get some heat into the oil, and we're going to go in with our spring onion, courgette and pepper. So get that in there. We want a good sizzle as soon as it hits the pan. Season with salt and freshly ground black pepper. You can be quite generous with your black pepper. Obviously, again, it is up to you. Give that a good stir, coat everything in the seasoning and the oil. So we want a really good sizzle for this one. We're not sweating them off, but equally we don't want a huge amount of colour. Quick sort of flash fry just to give our veg a bit of intensity. So we're going to give the pepper, courgette and onion a few minutes before we hit it with any other ingredients. There we go, that's been in for about a minute and a half, and I'd say we're going to go for about 3 minutes, give or take, before the next ingredient goes in, which will be our chili. After that, it will be our garlic. Like I said, not a huge amount of colour, but we do want a little bit on there. The main thing is just to intensify the flavour. Cook out some of that water before we hit it, our chili. And so, our chili in. So get that in there, and turn that heat down a tiny touch now. And I like to use a stainless steel pan for this one because we do get a nice little bit of fond from those caramelising sugars. So we want the chili in there for about a minute before we go in with our garlic. Keep that moving. See, we're getting a bit of fond, which is going to be deglazed with some wine. Right, so at this point, giving that chili a good minute. So next, our garlic. I'm going to literally go in with all of that garlic pretty much. I want it to have a real nice hum, this one. You use as much as you wish. So get that garlic in, There we go. Job's a good one. Give that a good old stir. We just want to sweat this garlic off for a couple of ticks along with that chili. We don't want the garlic to burn or it can cause bitterness. There we go. Garlic has been in for about 30 seconds. We only want it in there for about a minute and a half before the next ingredient, which is our olives. There we go. Chili and garlic has been in a couple of ticks. And so for our olives, get those in there. That's about as much as we're going to want. The smell coming off of this pan, incredible. Olives have now been in for a minute. Last ingredient to go in is our spinach. Nice handful, and that'll take a moment to wilt down. At this point, I like to get in there with a nice knob of butter, give that a good old stir. That spinach will wilt down in a moment. And then basically what we're going to do, we're going to cook our pasta, and then bring everything together at the last moment. There we go. So that spinach has nicely wilted down. And at this point, we want to deglaze. So deglaze the pan with your wine, nice generous glug, and we want to reduce that wine down to a syrup. So just give that a moment. We don't want the wine to be liquidy. We want to cook out the alcohol and get it nice and syrupy. And again, the smell is out of control. Absolutely delicious. And look at that. All of that flavour, all of that fond has lifted from the bottom of the pan, and that is all in our sauce. So this is pretty much ready. We're going to give that 1 or 2 more minutes just to reduce down. As soon as the pasta goes in, we're going to finish with our parsley, basil, and a hit of lemon, and that is going to be that. So heat off. That is basically our sauce ready. So that can now go to one side while we cook off our bucatini. So the kettle's on. That pan can go to one side. Leave it off the heat. We'll reheat it very quickly when we need it. Saucepan on. Our kettle has now boiled. Our pan is on the hob. Turn the heat up as high as it goes. Fill the pan with our water. And you want to generously season your pasta water. Good pinch of salt. Lid back on, and we want to get this water back up to a boil. And I've mentioned this before on pasta videos, but I'm going to mention it again. The amount of salt that you put in the water needs to be a lot higher than you would assume. The reason is the pasta will basically absorb a very small amount of water when it cooks, and in that water will be the salt. So if you put in a tiny amount of salt, obviously the concentration of salt in that water is very, very low. So basically imperceptible. We need the water to be nice and salty. That way the little amount of water that's absorbed into the pasta is enough to season the pasta perfectly, and most importantly from the inside out. Water's nearly boiling, and today one of my all-time favourite pastas, bucatini. Give that little stir, make sure that salt is nicely mixed into the water, nice and even. Pretty much ready for our bucatini. Pasta goes in, it's really nice and thick, so I think works great with a primavera. It will just take a minute to kind of droop down into the water. So be patient, don't snap it. That will just take a second. You can gently tease it and twist it down, but it will go when it's ready. Here we go. Pasta's in, and this is also something I mention on pretty much every pasta recipe I do. You want to cook the pasta for 2 minutes less than the cooking time that is on the packet. Reason is we're going to cook the pasta in the sauce for a good minute to a minute and a half, and we want the pasta to be nice and al dente. We don't want it mushy and overcooked. Very, very important. We want it to have a little bit of bite. So if it's 8 minutes, give it between 6, 6.5, and you're going to be good to go. 10 minutes, give it 8. So there we go. The bucatini is cooking away beautifully, not too long, and we're going to put everything together and tuck into this delicious, silky, garlicky, spicy pasta. One of my favorites. And again, I'll explain now because things are going to move along quite quickly once the pasta is cooked. Basically, we're going to remove some of the pasta water, pop that to one side in a cup to finish our sauce, drain the pasta. The pasta will then go into our saucepan with our primavera, give it a really good stir, finish with the parsley and the basil. We want that to give it a nice freshness, so we don't want that in there too long. Also a nice squeeze of lemon, a little hit of lemon zest, a few twists of black pepper, and then we're going to eat. So very simple. We may also finish it off with a little touch more extra virgin olive oil depending on the consistency. And for those of you out there that are potentially thinking this may be a little bland, just vegetables and pasta, trust me, I'm going to admit something. When I first saw this recipe, recently, years ago online, I was kind of thinking the same thing. I was like, you know, how does this pasta stack up against a carbonara and a arrabbiata? But trust me guys, it really does. Beautiful garlicky, spicy vegetables, beautiful silkiness from the butter and the olive oil, perfectly cooked pasta. The olives work incredibly well with a real nice generous amount of parmesan at the end. This one really is good, really tasty. If you're in doubt, if you're unsure, just give it a go. It's nice and cheap and you'll be surprised, trust me. So our pasta is very nearly there. It's lost its chalkiness, but it is still quite rigid. So about a minute to a minute 30 and we're going to be good to go. Let's have a look. I'm pretty sure we are basically there, almost 45 seconds to a minute, and that is going to be good to go. So at this point, take a cup and we want to remove some of the pasta water. And we're now ready to drain this off. So let's do it. Primavera back on the hob, in with our pasta. Give that a really good mixing up. We don't want the heat too high. There we go, lovely, jubbly. Dash, just dash of the pasta water. A very generous sprinkle, parsley. Tear in some of our basil, really nice and rough and rustic. That's gonna do us. Give that a really good mixing up. And look at that, smell is incredible. Black pepper, zest in the lemon. There we go, lemon zest is in, give that a stir. One last nice drizzle of a good quality extra virgin olive oil. One last tiny little hit of the pasta water. Heat right the way down. This is basically done. Just one very last thing to do, and that is to add a really nice squeeze of some fresh lemon juice. Guys, that there is the most delicious Bucatini Primavera. Heat off, and we are ready to plate. Let's go. So guys, here we have it. So pasta on the plate. This smells absolutely incredible. Garlic, chili, veg, lemon, unreal. So there it is on the plate, our Bucatini Primavera. And there is obviously only one way that we can finish this one off, Parmesan. So give that a really nice, generous grating, Parmigiano Reggiano. That there, that is the one. A little garnish of basil to make it look pretty. Bucatini Primavera. So with my trusty fork at the ready, let's give this amazing pasta a try. Let's get stuck in. That is good. That is so good. A real kick from the chili. Garlic is delicious. And the vegetables are just sensational. What really makes it for me are the olives. Gives it that classic Mediterranean kind of vibe. This one is incredible. The lemon really lifts it up. This is so good. Like I said, Primavera is often made with cream, like a cream sauce, but for me, it's just so much better like this. You get the silkiness of the olive oil that I think just works great with the flavor profile of this dish. Nice and buttery, and with the lemon, that gives it a nice lemony butter kind of vibe. So good. I know this is not one of the most well-known pasta dishes, so if this is your first time coming across it, I highly recommend giving this one a go. You really will not be disappointed. So delicious. Nice kick of heat, beautiful freshness from the lemon and the herbs. I mean, it's heaven. It really is absolutely delicious. I'm supposed to be talking about this, but I'm just loving it. My advice is use Bucatini. I think this pasta works so well. Delicious, really good. So I'm gonna polish this thing off. If you can do me a favor, like and subscribe. You'll find the recipe on my website, thewckcountryKitchen.com, and there's a link below to sign up to my weekly newsletter. Sign up through the link and I'll send you out all the recipes each and every week for all the new recipes on the show, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys.